Hello guys, in this tutorial I am going to show you how you can enable monitoring of Kubernetes using Prometheus, Grafana, and how you can send alert in Slack channel, and also how you can monitor your monitoring stack. Let's say if your monitoring stack goes down, then an application will send you a notification that your monitoring stack is not working. Please look into it. Okay, so for this we need a Google account, a Slack channel, and for the application which will monitor our monitoring stack, I'm going to use Snitch. It's an online service, so we have to create an account on it. So let's go and create a Slack account so that we can send our alert on that Slack channel. Okay. So here is the Gmail account. It's a newly created account. So go to let's say Google it and go to Slack. Okay, yeah, create a new workspace, or let's say we can search Slack sign up. Yeah, it's asking continue with Google. I'm continuing with Google. Okay, so here is my new account, sagakaushal303@gmail.com. I'm selecting it. Okay, so create a workspace. I'm creating a workspace here. It's for demo monitoring. Yeah, you can say demo monitoring. Uh, add team member. We can skip this step. So my Slack account is almost ready. Okay, I'm closing that notification. Quickly create a channel. Let's say Kubernetes alert. Channel for Kubernetes alerts. Create it. Okay, I'm skipping for now. I'm skipping. Okay, so let's quickly create an app. Okay, it will be a webhook integration. Okay, so add to Slack. It will ask me for the channel name, so I'm giving it Kubernetes alert. Okay, so add incoming webhook integration. So so it gives me a webhook URL in which we can send through which we can send alerts to Slack channel. Okay, so first we need to test that the webhook URL is working or not. So here, I mean, they gave us the example. Yeah, it's there. So let's copy it, uh, and I'm going to Slack. So there is no message here. I mean, if I'm sending here, so it's my own message. But what if someone sends through an API key or an HTTPS URL? Okay, so let's test it. I am in a EC2 machine. Okay, so uh, let's test whether our Slack channel is working or not. So here we got OK, and let's go to our Slack and see this is posted to Kubernetes, so it means our Slack API is working. So let's make a note of it. Sorry. Here, yeah, this one. It's API channel name. It is, I mean, Kubernetes. Yeah, we created it earlier. It's Kubernetes alert, so I'm copying it and just pasting here. Okay, so my Slack is almost complete. So what else we can do is we can create an account in an application through which we can monitor or monitoring stack. Okay, so let's search for. So I'm searching in online. So what's the, I mean, online solution for monitoring our stack? So here they give us some suggestions like we can use health checks, we can use Croniter, Cronhub, Deadman Snitch, Cron Alarm, WebGazer. So in this tutorial, I'm going to use Deadman Snitch. Okay, so because when I read it, it gave me a simple curl with no, I mean payload. We can pass the payload or we cannot. I mean it's all up to us that whether we can whether we want to send any payload or just we want to curl and send that system that hey I am okay at my end. So you please don't inform someone that the monitoring stack is not working. Okay, so I am using Datman Snitch. Okay, so let's go to Datman Snitch. Okay, so let me sign out of my previous. Okay, look, sign up. Okay, Sagar Kaushal. I'm taking my name Sagar Kaushal 30 at gmail.com. I'm giving a password here and create account. So my account is created. Let's check this mail. Yeah, so it's a confirmation mail from Datman Snitch. Okay, so here they have plans like little body, privatized, civilian span, having different cost. So, but we are going to use it for free. I mean, we are just testing it. We are not moving it into a production system, right? So let's go for the lone snitch. I'm going to select it. Yeah, just say Kubernetes stack. It's going to monitor the monitoring stack. Okay, uh, so I have given that tags here. So in basic plan you will get 1 hour report. I mean if your monitoring stack is down for 1 hour then it will notify us, but in prepare I mean in paid plans we will have 15 minutes or 30 minutes and in time interval as well. So by default it's going to I mean send the notification to the same email address through which I have created that account. Okay, so let's say I have added this one and say monitoring stack is not working. Okay, so I have saved this and yeah, have you seen? I mean, you can see that it's simply give me a curl HTTPS URL. So let's test it. As you can see here, there is no, I mean, uh, I mean, we haven't hit that application yet. Okay, so first time when we hit, it says that the hit, I mean, response, I mean, it get hit 1 minute ago, 2 minutes ago. Okay, so let's hit this using curl. So see, it's waiting, and when I hit it, got it, thanks. And when I refresh this page, yeah, last seen less than a minute ago. So it means my dead and snitch is also working. Okay, so first of all, we need a Gmail account. Second, Slack. Third one is Deadman's Niche. Okay, so we have, I mean, created all that stuff. So now let's go to the actual work. I mean, deployment of Prometheus operator. I mean, the Helm chart through which we will deploy the Prometheus cube stack. Okay, so let's go to the URL. Just simply, I'm using this URL earlier in my projects. Yeah, I was using that Helm chart for the last 1 year. I mean, yeah, more than 1 year, I guess. but now it's depreciated. Okay, so I mean so we need to install something which is updating regularly. Okay, so here they told us that further development has been moved to Prometheus community Helm chart. The chart has been renamed Cube Prometheus stack. So we are going to use that stack. Okay, when we click on that, it will redirect me to Cube Prometheus stack. That stack in which and that stack we are going to deploy in our Kubernetes cluster. Okay, so it has CRD. CRD are something like custom resource definitions. Okay, so let me show you. So if you let's say CRDs is something like custom resources where like in Kubernetes we have default resources like pod, deployment, services, secrets, but we can also create our own custom resources like Prometheus rules, service monitor, Thanos rulers. Okay, so these are CRDs, custom resource definitions. Okay, so and here what we need is a values.yml. Okay, in which we are going to change according to our environment. So here a value, we can see that the values.yml is there. Okay, so let's go and copy it into a notepad. Let's say I'm going to copy it into a notepad and we have to make changes, right? Okay, so this is my values.yml. So what changes we are going to implement is, first of all, we are going to use a particular node. We are going to use node selector in this YAML file because let's say we are going to deploy it in EKS and in AWS. We are also going to attach a disk on it. A persistent volume. So it's in AWS persistent volume, or we can say disk is non. Is not supported. Cross journal. Let's say you have a disk in AP South 1A, so it will not get attached to a VM or any. Let's say pod which is running in AP South 1B. Okay, so we are going to use that property of Kubernetes. Along with that, we are going to change, mm, let's say, first of all, node selector, and the second part is we are going to change the uh, component which it's going to monitor. EKS give us where the nodes. We can monitor the nodes, the pod, but EKS give us don't give us the master component. Let's say the control manager, the API server, the etcd. It's managed by AWS itself. So we are not going to monitor this stack. But if we don't disable, then we'll get the alert that your API server is not working or your control manager is not working. Okay, so first of all, let's change the node selector part. Okay, so just search for node selector. So here it's first of all the node selector part is here. Okay, so I'm uncommented it, and let's say we are going to give the label of the node, server monitoring. Okay, secondly, let's say here also, it's for node affinity, we are not going to use it. Second thing is here server monitoring. Okay, let's search for third one. Again, we are not going to use this one. Yeah, and this part has been completed. Okay, So the next part is we are going to disable the stack which we are not going to use. So I have a note in which I have mentioned all that stuff which we are not going to cover in this. Okay, so let's go for API server. Let's search API server. Yeah, here API server. We are not going to monitor, so I am making it false. We are going we are I mean monitoring kubelet, so we are not touching it. It's true. Control manager. Third one is control manager. So I'm making it false. The next component is code DNS. We are going to monitoring it, so we are not making any changes. Cube DNS is already false. The cube etcd, I'm going to make it false. Yeah, cube scheduler, we are monitoring, make it false. Cube proxy, again make it false. Cube state matrix, we are going to monitor it. Okay, cube state matrix node exporter true, Prometheus operator true. Yeah, so these are the component we are going to monitor. Again, I told you that we are going to use a disk. Because of that, we have implemented node selector. So let's changes the persistent volume as well. Okay, so let's search for storage. So here I am in the top of my file. So let's search for storage. Yeah, first of all, let's change it. It's for AlertManager. I'm going to give the storage class name as GP2, which is by default given by eCache. Okay, so I'm making it 5GI, 5GB. Okay, again, it's for Prometheus. Again, I'm going to use it 5GI, and the storage class name is GP2. Okay, so these are the changes which we have to do in this values.yaml. So let's copy it, and I have already created that file in my server, which is values.yaml. Okay, if we get values.yaml egrep-i, let's say store yeah, simply let's say vi this file, let's say storage. So I have created this, let's say node selector server monitor. Okay, and if we go again API server. Okay, so this one cube scheduler is false, cube etcd is false, cube dns is false, which is by default false. Code dns is true, cube control manager is false. Yeah, kubelet is true, cube API server is false. So we have created our values.yaml. So let's save it. I'm going to make can change in that file. So let's quickly create a node. Okay, for this we need I have installed this Kubernetes cluster using EKSCTL. So I'm going to attach, or we can say we are going to provision a new worker node in it. So let's say get clusters. Yeah, we have two cluster. If we search for node group automotive cluster, so we have only one node group here, as you can see, automotive. So we automotive cloud cluster, and the name of the node group is private 1A automotive cluster, and node group private 1A. So we are going to create a private group, a node group in public zone. Okay, and we will label that node with the server monitor. Okay, so I have a command ekctl node group hyphen hyphen cluster hyphen hyphen region node zone. Let's say we are going to call it monitoring. Okay, the instance type would be t3.medium. Okay, min node max node is always, it's going to be same. Yeah, and the node labels, I'm going to change it as server is equal to monitoring. So quickly create that node group. It is going to take some time. I'm going to pause this video, and when it completed I'll resume that video. So my node is ready. I mean the node group has been provisioned, and it is having one node. Let's say kubectl get nodes. Okay, so here I am having another node which is provisioned 98 seconds ago, and if we get nodes hyphen wide, it will give me a public IP address as well, because I have provisioned that node group in public subnet. Okay, so let's see its label as well. So I'm going to say kubectl get nodes hyphen wide hyphen hyphen show labels, and if we search for monitoring, so here you can see here the node label. Okay, so it's monitoring. So we are good to go for installing our monitoring stack. So the command, I mean, we have to add the repository as well. So let's quickly add that repository. Helm repo add. I have already installed Helm 3. Okay, so I'm adding this. It's saying it's already exist in my system. Okay, so I'm going to update it. Yeah, it's got updated. First of all, let's create a monitoring stack, a namespace in which we are going to install all that monitoring pods and services and PVC all in monitoring namespace. Okay, kubectl create namespace monitoring. Yeah, we search for kubectl get ns grab-i monitoring. See, I have a namespace monitoring now, and if we search all the stuff, it has no resources. If we search for service account, the service account is created by service controller, which is default. Okay, we have values.yaml. Okay, so let's search for Prometheus stack. So as you can see, Prometheus community. Okay, and if I go to um, yeah, this Prometheus community, Helm chart, Prometheus stack, and the chart name is Prometheus stack. Okay, so I'm going to install it and install the name. I'm going to give it monitoring. I'm keeping it short. -f values.yaml -n monitor. The name is space name and the chart name. This one. Let's quickly install the monitoring stack. Yeah, the monitoring stack is installed. Let's search for pods in monitoring namespace. So yeah, as you can see, it's in pending state. Okay, alert manager is creating. Sorry, if we search for PVC in that namespace, so we have two PVCs which we have defined in values.ml and it's 5 GB and it's in bound status. So if we search for kubectl cat PV is PVC is a namespace specific, but PV persistent volume is cluster specific. So as you can see here, we have two PV of 5 GB each, and the recycle policy or reclaim policies delete. We can set it to recycle, or we can send it, we can set it to recycle or retain, but it's just a demo. In production environment, you always have to edit this and make it retain. Okay, so let's again search for pods. So all pods are running now. It got restarted one time, but now it's running. Okay, and if we search for services, clear the screen. Yeah, here you can see a list of services. So this one is for Prometheus. Okay, Prometheus database, and this one is for Grafana, and this one is for Alert Manager. Okay, no, I guess this one is for Alert Manager. Yeah, monitoring, because we have used monitoring name, so it has given Cube Prometheus Monitor, this one, Cube Prometheus this one, and Grafana this one. So let's quickly check. I have a note of this, so let's quickly search for this service. Another service is monitoring. The third service is this one, hyphen and monitoring. Yeah, so three service. So we are going to extract the YAML of it, and we are going to make notepod service of this pod as well. We have to expose it outside from the cluster. I'm not going to use ingress, but in production environment we generally use ingress, make a bind with the domain with a certificate as well. Okay, but for this demo I'm going to use notepod service. So for I'm using for command to kubectl get svc $i hyphen and monitoring hyphen o YAML. I am going to redirect in $i publishing np.yaml and going to done it. So we have three node port service file. So quickly edit first of it, monitoring Grafana service notepod.yaml. Okay, so down. I'm going to make it notepod. Earlier it is notepod cluster IP, and I'm going to delete that cluster IP as well. Otherwise, it will give us error. The namespace is good. I'm going to make it notepod. So the first service, the second service is alert manager service. In notepod, I'm going to delete that cluster IP and I'm going to name it hyphen NP. And the third one is this one. Same process, make it notepod, delete the service and make it NP. Just save it and I'm going to apply it. Simply. Now again, if we go for kubectl get service -n monitoring, we have notepod service as well. So if we grab, okay, it's not taking. So yeah, I mean it's notepod here, it's not here, and if we search simply for, and we'll get three notepod services. Okay, so how we are going to open it? So I haven't defined the notepod, so by automatically is assigned with a random port name between 30,000 and 32,000 something. Okay, I haven't remembered that range. So this is the port. Let's clear the screen. Again, I'm going to find that. And if we search for get nodes -y, I've opened that port range 30,000 to 30,000, 33,000 in security group of my node. I mean this hmm, server or the node. Okay, I have done it earlier, so it's my public IP. I'm going to open it. I'm going to open three tabs. Okay, first one is 31079. It's for Grafana. The again it's for alert manager, and I guess that this one is for Prometheus. Yeah, as you can see, I'm going to copy it from here, changing the port. So here you can see we have Grafana, we have Prometheus, we have alert manager. All the three components are installed with the Prometheus and alert manager having persistent volume as well. But in production environment, we prefer EFS volume because let's say I have labeled that node and give the node selector. What if that node goes down? I mean, the data will get lost. So because if the volume is not attached with something, let's say I have only one node with that label. Okay, so it's good to use elastic file storage for this kind of I mean deployment. Okay, so yeah, I mean I have opened the Grafana its user is admin, and the password is I'm going to take it from value files. Okay, it's fine, fine, yeah, it's from operator. Let's log in, and you can see our Grafana dashboard is here. And if we search, this chart gives us by default dashboards, and here we have use method for node, use method for cluster. It's Prometheus, it's node. We have two nodes. The use stand for usage, saturation and errors. If we go to nodes, we can see the CPU utilization, the memory, CPU, all that stuff. We have two nodes. Okay, one is 1024 156 and 1020 138. So if we check, it's 1020 138 and 156. Okay, so the Grafana part is complete. I mean, we have set all this method. We have all the uh, default I mean dashboards given by that community. Okay, feed field, alert manager overview, all. And if we go for persistent volume, so we have set two disk. Okay, so here you can see two disk. It's 36 MB used, 4G, 4.76 GB free, and if I select second one, it's 36.8 MB used. Okay, and 4.76 GB free. So it monitors a lot. I mean, almost all the components of Kubernetes which required monitoring. Now let's go to Prometheus. It's a time series database, and if I simply type vector 1, it will return me an empty dictionary. Okay, so yeah, it's working fine. And if you go for alerts, so these are the alerts, okay, which is predefined. I mean, these alerts are predefined. So you can see here we have pending 3 and firing 1. So let's click the inactive one. It's a queue pod not ready. Okay, so it started sending I mean it's started sending the alert. I mean the if I click on, I mean uncheck that pending one, it's firing one alert. So it's a watchdog. I mean it's something like saying that hey, I am a monitoring stack and I am up. So if we go for its description, this is an alert meant to ensure that the entire alert pipelining is functional. So it's not an error. It's and I mean we can say it's it's a good error. I mean it is telling that it's always up, so it's kind of a notification, so telling that your I mean our monitoring stack is up and fine. Okay, so for example the deadman snitch, it's also referring deadman snitch integration in pager duty, but I am directly using deadman snitch. Okay, so here comes the pending part. So I have one deployment, which is, I mean, um, testing, okay, which is a testing deployment, and I think it is not running. So here you can see the alert name is queue pod not ready, namespace default, and the pod name is app nginx deployment. So quickly search for namespace default, and if I'm having any pod which is in crash loop or some kind of that state, get PO. So yeah, as you can see, it's in image pullback off. So if we search for its deployment, yeah, let's fix it. It's my bad. Mm, yeah, some some of my colleagues has set it to latest. I'm sending it to latest. As you can see, now it's in running state. And if we go to Prometheus, let's say what it is saying, what time it will change the pending to inactive. Okay. Okay, so it will take a minute or two. So I mean this stack is ready, but we are not going to sit for the complete day and watch what's going there, what is the persistent disk. Okay, here. Okay, so if we field data source named was not found, not sure why it is showing that error. We go to here. Yeah, I am for saying that we are not going to sit the complete day and watching that dashboard because it's a time consuming task. It's good for a company where they have their own NOC, I mean the command center where we have big screens and we can set that dashboard in their screen. Okay, so but what else we can do is we can, if let's say we are working in a shift. Okay, so what we'll do, yeah, what we'll do is simply go and check if any uh, I mean alert is in pending or firing state or not. Okay, so these are, I mean, some basic concepts, but again, the main concept is alerting, how we are going to get alerts. Okay, so let's say we want to send watchdog alert into Slack, then what we are going to do? Okay, so earlier we have prepared a Slack channel here in which we have a channel Kubernetes alert. So now we are going to send that watchdog alert into that Slack. Okay, so I'm going to pause this video for a while. I'll come back in 2 minutes and then resume it. Okay, so here is my Slack channel and I'm going to send that watchdog alert into that Slack channel. Okay. So let's quickly make another, let's say, uh, defect in Kubernetes. Let's say my pod is not working, make it not working. Now it's working, so I'm going to make it unhealthy, or let's say it's not getting that image which is required. So again, if I'm editing it, I'm making it some random name. Let's see TTTT. Okay, I'm going to edit it again and make the replicas to 0. So we can use command to make that replicas 0. So now deployment got scaled. If I see no pod is running with that deployment, again I'm going to make it 1. And if I see the pods it's creating, yeah, it's image error image pull. And let's go to Prometheus and we can see that it's going to be in pending state in some time. Yeah, it's quite fast. I mean, Qbot not ready. Okay, so now we are sending that alerts to Slack channel. So for that, we need to prepare a YAML of AlertManager. Okay, so let me quickly show you. Let me quickly show you where that YAML exists. I mean, in that Kubernetes cluster. search for kubectl get secrets hyphen and monitoring. So this one, this one contains the alertmanager.yaml. Okay, if I get, so here I am using this command which give me the output of that YAML. I mean the secret in YAML format, and here you can see that alertmanager.ml is here. So if you quickly copy it and let's go for uh, it's in base 64. Okay, so we are going to decode it. Yeah, this one, paste it and decode it. So as you can see, it is something like this, a default alertmanager.yaml, but we don't want this. We want to customize it and send alert to the Slack channel. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I will have another YAML. So I'm going to use this YAML. Okay, so here the global, the Slack API URL, I am going to place my Slack API which I copied it earlier. We are, yeah, there it is. It is this one. Okay, paste it. Group by alert name. Here is the receiver is Slack and the receiver is Slack, and the channel name will be this one, Kubernetes alert. Yeah, completed. So let's quickly check whether it's a valid YAML or not. So I'm in Google again, YAML int. If you go, it is showing me that the YAML is valid. Okay, so now I am going to encode it with base 64. So here I'm encoding it. This decode. I'm going to encode. I'm pasting it. Let's say encode. So I'm getting an encoded string here. Okay, and now I'm going to edit that secret. So here my screen kubectl get secret hyphen n monitoring. Edit that secret. I'm going to create another alert with that value, and I'm going to delete this one. Okay. So my secret got edited, and for for alert manager to pick that changes, we have to restart the alert manager. So let's quickly get pods hyphen and monitoring, delete pod, this pod hyphen and. Before deleting this pod, I'll show you where we can find that YAML in Alert Manager. So if we go for status, here you can see it's got updated automatically. I mean, I haven't restarted it, but it is taken. I mean, changes got affected. Okay, so for the safer side, let's delete that pod. I mean, restart that pod. If we go for its in creating state, if we go for let's describe that pod. Yeah, it's started. So it has two containers. I mean, so the main container is alert manager. So if we check its log, and monitoring -c alert manager, we can see that completed loading of configuration file. Okay, alert manager.yaml. If we refresh that alert manager again, yeah, no changes. It has taken the changes has been I mean redirected, or we can say reflected automatically earlier, but for the safer side we have restarted that pod. And let's go for our Slack channel. So here you can see we are getting watchdog alert. I mean it's in firing state always, saying that you're an alert that should always be firing to certify that the alert manager is working properly. Okay, and if we go for Prometheus, so it's in active state, but in I mean it's active but it's in pending state. Okay, so this will fired after 15 minutes. Okay, and this will I think fired after 1 hour. So we have to wait for 15 minutes. Okay, so I'm pausing that video, and if I'll be resume that video when it got fired. Okay. So as you can see, I waited for around 4 or to 5 minutes, and these two alerts, I mean, is firing now, and we will get a notification in Slack channel that we have something wrong in our Kubernetes cluster. So let's go to our Slack channel, and as you can see, we have a watchdog alert which is fired. I mean just now 23:53, and we have also a deployment because mismatch and a queue pod not ready. Okay, and if you can see queue pod not ready and queue deployment replicas mismatch, these two alerts we also got in along with watchdog. But what happens if we are continuously getting watchdog alert, and in between we also get something like a genuine error, or which but okay, so it's difficult for us to identify, uh, or we can miss that alert as well, because we are getting continuously watchdog alert, and in between we will get cube deployment replicas mismatch, or any error. Let's say node is down, or some pods are not up to that replicas. Okay, so what else we can do is, because watchdog is firing 24 cross 7, and in between we got some error like this, and we got I mean this error got missed, and the business will get impacted. I mean the application will get impacted. So the workaround is we can for redirect that watchdog to some other monitoring system. I mean some other uh, let's say channel. We can't say channel, but some another API which will handle it. Okay. So for that, when we start this video, we have created an account in Deadman Snitch. Okay. So let's go to Deadman Snitch, and it's saying last seen less than a minute ago, but it was that time when we started that video. Okay, but now if I refresh that page, it's saying last seen about 1 hour ago. So it will send me a notification. Let's say it has sent us a notification or no. Yeah, but it has sent me a notification. Good news, Kubernetes has checked in for the first time. Okay, so this notification came when we first hit the curl URL, the URL with curl command. Okay, now yeah, it's demo monitoring. Okay, no issues. So let's configure the watchdog in Deadman Snitch. Okay, so if we go here, settings, it will send me a mail in sagarkaushal303@gmail.com if let's say watchdog is continuously hitting that deadman snitch, and for let's say it if the alert manager pod or something happens to the monitoring stack and it's not hitting that API or the URL, then after 1 hour it will notify me that your Kubernetes monitoring stack is not working. Please look into it. Okay, so I'm going to cancel it. Okay, and if I click on that, yeah, here is the URL, the snitch ID. It's a webhook. So I'm going to configure it as well. So earlier my YAML is like that. So again I'm making changes in it, and this time my UR, my alert manager YAML will be like this. Yeah. So this will be my Slack API. Okay, the receiver name will be Slack. The channel name would be, I mean, the channel name will be alert, Kubernetes alerts. Okay, send result true. And again, I am configuring another receiver which is DMS, Deadman Snitch. It will not send me any notification. I mean, if because it will never get resolved. So send resolved false. Okay, and here I am going to put my snitch URL. Mm, Here it is. Group by alert name, receiver, watchdog. Okay, so as you can see here, I have configured a Slack API, a channel with uh, send result true. Again, I have defined a deadman snitch receiver, which will hit that URL. Okay, and if it matches a subroute alert name watchdog. Okay, so let's quickly configure it. First, let's test whether it is a valid YAML or not. To delete it, Control P, and let's say go. So it is a valid YAML. So I'm going to decode it first of all. Oh, sorry, encode it. I'm going to paste it, encode it. Okay, so this is the encoded string I'm getting. It's a base64 encoded string. So let's quickly verify one more time. Here is the Slack API URL. The channel name would be Slack. Send result true. Name would be DMS. Name will be, yeah, something has happened. Okay, let me copy it again. Group by alert name, and if it messages about of alert name watchdog, then it will send it to this URL. Okay, perfect. So copy it, and I'm going to edit that secret again. If we go to our alert manager, if we refresh that page, it's not yet updated. Now it is updated. As you can see, we got DMS. Okay, so the alert manager config has updated, and if we check the logs again, yeah, it's 1831. It's in UTC, and if I time, sorry, date, it's 1832. Okay, so I mean this file has been updated, and now if we see our Slack channel, it is fired in 2053. Okay, and last time when we see that when our it snatch URL got hit, it's saying that about 1 hour ago. Now if we go here again, see, last seen 1 minute ago. So it means that our watchdog alert has been hitting that URL now. Okay, and we are not going to get any alert on this channel. So the benefit is this: we are going to get a mail when alert manager or some monitoring stack goes down. If it is not going to send the alert, then I'll get notified that your monitoring stack is not working. Okay, so what else we can do now is, yeah, what else we can do is we have this one, Grafana. Here you can see the nodes. We have two nodes. What happened when I added another node? Okay, so let's test it as well. And then what happened when we delete that node too? Okay, it will give me an alert, or it the Prometheus operator or the Prometheus software will will collaborate with the API server that, hey, this node is missing. Is it deleted or some what? I mean, I am monitoring and we are not getting. I'm not getting any response from that node. Okay, so could you please let me know that is it still in your control? I mean, you are managing it or not? If the API server tell that I'm not managing it, okay, then this will not generate. This will not fire any alert. Okay, let's quickly add another node. So yeah, here is my server monitoring. I'm just changing it name to monitoring, adding, deleting. Okay, I'm going to add this node as well, and I'm changing it to server. So I'm clearing my screen and creating a node group again. I'm going to pause this video until it's got created. So my terminal got stuck when I run that command to create a node group, but when I see it in CloudFormation template, it is create complete. Okay, the CloudFormation template has been created successfully. And when I see here, I open another tab, and when I see kubectl get nodes -o5, I have 3 node now, which is it's ready 3 minutes ago. Okay, so let's go for see whether we can see the third node in Grafana or not. Its IP is 10, 24, 20, 30. Sorry. So let's go in Grafana. When I refresh, see, I'm getting another node. 10, 24, 30. Earlier we have only two nodes. Now we have three. Okay. And if I go simple nodes, if I go now, it's start getting metrics. I mean, the Prometheus is started scraping that node metrics as well. So if we go for last 5 minutes, it's showing me the metrics. It's still 12:10. Now it's going to get in 12:20, 12, or let's wait at what time it's scraping. Now you can see 12, 12:30 it is getting the matrices. Okay, and if we go to usage of that, we started getting the CPU utilization matrices as well. So again, I mean, whenever we add a node, it will I mean, the agent, the node exporter is running as a daemon set. Okay, so it will automatically get I mean scaled and deployed in that node as well. If we get daemon set -n monitoring, we will have now three daemon set. Okay, it's three, earlier it is two. Okay, so now I am going to, and let's say what is the status in Prometheus. Okay, so again, cube not ready, cube deployment, it's inactive, and cube container waiting. It's in pending state, and these two are in firing state. So let's check our snack channel as well. Yeah, here I am getting it's fired cube not, I mean earlier watchdog. Now as you can see, cube deployment replicas mismatch. Earlier we are also getting. So after every 15 minutes it will, I mean, firing this alert because it's mentioned in for 15 minutes. Okay, and this one will fire after 1 hour. Queue container waiting, this will fire after 15 minutes. So again after 15 minutes it will get fired automatically. Okay, and if we check the deadman snitch, earlier it's saying last 1 minute. Now 2 minutes ago the watchdog has hit that URL. Okay, so this I mean this is the complete pipeline. And let's we just want to test one more thing, what happens when we delete a node. So I'm going to delete that node as well. I'm deleting that node group completely. Cat, cat, let's say cluster. Yeah, so created complete, monitoring, adding, deleted. I'm going to delete that node group. Let's clear the screen again, run it. So I'm not going to ctl g hyphen hyphen name, and the name is adding deleting hyphen hyphen cluster is equal to this cluster. See, it's deleting, and when we go to the Prometheus, it will, I mean, say that the node is not ready. There should be a alert which might be in pending state, but but it will tell that the node is not in ready state. So let's see what time it will say this. Let's quickly get the nodes. Yeah, it's not ready in scheduling. Yeah, if I check it, yeah, see target down. One or more target are reachable. Namespace cube system, kubelet monitoring. Okay, it is checking for the kubelet, and kubelet is a software installed in Node. Okay, the Node exporter also got down. See, cube not ready. Uh, it's for this cube not ready. We are getting alerts, multiple alerts. But let's see, it will get fire or not. Let's say in pending state. At what time it will get resolved? So see, two are already resolved. Now three are in pending state. Because if we see kubectl get nodes -o wide, we have completely removed that node from cluster. So there is no, I mean, meaning of sending the alert that the node is not available because we removed it completely. So it will wait for 10 minutes. Kube container waiting. I mean, it's for the pod app in Nginx and the daemon set. It's wait for 15 minutes. After that, it will got, I mean, removed. Firing is 3. Kube pod not ready. Kube deployment. The earlier alerts, which is firing. See, 2 contain kube container waiting. It's for that pod, and this should also, I mean, this alert should also gone. See, target down 1 active. Earlier it was 2. And when we go to Grafana, we will get that matrix of that server. For the time being, it is, I mean, it is a database in Prometheus. It is a database and it has matrix. But let's say last 5 minutes, it has matrices. But when say last, when the time I mean has left, let's say it's 12:30 right now, and when we are in 12:50, and when let's say last 5 minutes, then these this will gone. I mean this 30 IP will gone from this point of view because at that time there is no data of this IP on the Prometheus database. Okay, we go for last 5 seconds. And let's say if we go for another nodes, yeah, it has some data right now. See, this alert has already gone. So now one in pending, which will trigger after 1 hour. Three is in firing. Okay, and let's say if it is firing or not. Yeah, cube deployment mismatch. It's 12:14. Okay, two. So and let's say it's last in 2 minutes ago. Last in 8 minutes ago. Okay, might be this is not working, but after 2 or 3 minutes it might get work because it send data to every 10 minutes. See here, if we check Slack watchdog 11:42, 11:53, almost 10 minutes. So let's see for 1 minute now. It will, I mean, last seen, it will set to last seen 0 minutes ago. Let's wait, wait. And if for the timing, let's go to Grafana and see if we can see 5 minutes interval as well. So see, the 30 IP is no more here. And if we check for last 15 minutes, we will get that 30 IP as well because Prometheus has data at that period of interval. But for last 5 minutes, it has no data for this IP. So it is saying, I mean, it is not showing here. Okay. And the last thing we want to check is the deadman snitch. Let's see. And again, how will you check that deadman snitch is working or not? I mean, let's uh, let's make it last seen 0 minutes ago. Then I'll show you how you can check. I mean, just for sanity purpose or testing purpose to see if this is working or not. So I'm telling you now that you can down your alert manager, which is throwing, I mean, which is hitting that API or the URL. Okay, so how you will test it? It's taking much time. It is working. Okay, I'll show you how you can check that well as you do. As you can see, the alert manager run as a stateful set in monitoring namespace. Okay, and if you scale that to 0, it means your alert manager is not working, and it will not send an alert, the watchdog alert to the deadman snitch. And then after 1 hour, deadman snitch will tell us that your monitoring server is not working. Okay, your monitoring stack is not working. Please look into it. Okay, so how you can I mean scale down to 0 that stateful set? It's pretty simple. kubectl added stateful set hyphen n monitoring. Just go to here and make it replica to 0. Before that, let me see if it is 0 or not. Yeah, last seen 1 minute ago. I mean that alert manager has hit that too. So what else you can do is you can make it 0. Let me again show you that this pod is working. Okay, I mean this stateful set is working. So this pod is a part of this stateful set hyphen 0. Okay, so I'm making it a replica 0. I'm make this replica 0. If I save it, let's see the pods. It's in terminating state and soon it will disappear. Okay, so it is disappear. Now after 1 hour, Deadman Snitch will mail us and the message will be mm, yeah, the message will be Kubernetes monitoring is not working. Okay, please, I mean, this will be the message, and I'm sure I'm going to show you how the mail will work. Earlier, I have tagged with my name. Okay, so I'm getting this type of alert. You might want to check Deadman Snitch. You would like to pause. Okay, the last healthy checkout check-in. I mean, 17 hours ago, and if I go to top. Okay, so it is saying last check-in about 2 hours ago. Okay, then I remove that. So this is how you can you will get that mail from the admin snitch. Okay, so that's it. I mean, I hope this will this video is informative for you. Thank you.